Okay, now one thing I have learned after taking 657 flights. All right, y'all, so maybe I'm exaggerating that number a bit, but the point is I have taken a lot of flights. After tons of travel, I have learned quite a bit. So what I wanna do is relay all of those things, or all the things that I can remember and fit in this video, to you to help you prepare for your next trip. And I'm gonna do this by breaking it up into like a few categories. Things to do before you fly, things to do in flight, how to sanitize your flight, if you know, how to capture content, tips and tricks, and things you're gonna wanna consider when it comes to your luggage. So as you can see, we're gonna be in quite a few places, but let's get right to it. The very first thing that you're definitely going to want to make sure that you do is download your music and your movies ahead of time. Once you're in flight, unless you are willing to pay for Wi-Fi in flight, which mind you is typically slow, overpriced, and is a dice roll if it's available. So instead of chancing all those different things, just download your music and your movies ahead of time. A lot of apps offer you the option to download your content. Like I know Netflix does, Disney Plus, Hulu, and your music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, they also offer the option. But either way, before you get on that flight, make sure you have what you want downloaded. Another thing you're gonna wanna make sure that you download is the airline app. So whoever you're flying with, they have an application for their airline. So basically, you know, sometimes on a flight, they have the TVs on the back of the seats. Whatever is offered up there is oftentimes also offered within the app in their entertainment section. So if you don't want to look at the back of the headrest and you want the option to look at it instead from your phone, you can do that. It's also good to get information in flight if needed, and some airlines will even notify you when your boarding group is boarding. And most of them will honestly even give you the airport map so you can better navigate where you are, see how far you might be from your next gate. So things like that. There's lots of little hidden gems, and each airline is different, but definitely make sure you download it. Now, another app that's worth getting is called TripIt. This one right here, y'all, it lets you basically create your itinerary in the app, but it's the way that it looks that is what sold it for me, and the fact that it is free. Like, I'm not paying for anything right now, and I have everything in which I need. So you can come in here, you know, for your girls' trip or your boys' trip, you can come in here and create your group with your friends or your family and title it whatever, put the description, and then put what you plan to do. And it's nice, especially if you're still trying to brainstorm things. I just love the fact you can see here, like at 12, we're going, you know, to the museum. But yeah, in essence, that's TripIt. I know there's more that it does, but like, that's one of the big things that I personally enjoyed. And then the final two apps that I'm gonna say make sure that you download will be the MyTSA app and the FlightAware app. The MyTSA app is gonna give you information on the wait times at the airport for TSA. And the FlightAware app is basically gonna let you know exactly that. Where is your aircraft that you're flying on? Where is it located at in transit to you? And some other cool stuff. Something else you can do before you fly is set alarms. I know, this has definitely helped me a ton. So you can set alarms for the time that you have to be up. I'm gonna show you mine. So the way I set mine up is I have alarms for like when I need to order my Uber, when I need to go to bed. I also have one for when I'm supposed to board the plane, because I find that no matter how many times I look in the app, I still question what time I board. I even have it as a silent alarm so that basically my phone doesn't make a sound, but it does vibrate. And to get it silent, all you gotta do is tap on the alarm. Then you're gonna go here and tap sound and just put it on none, which is at the bottom. Also an alarm for when I need to wake up for my flight versus just waking up in general. So lots of little ways that you could go about setting yours up. Now, something that I slept on that I highly advise that you don't is signing up for a membership program with an airline. It's free and it works in your favor because just simply from flying, you basically move up their tier in terms of different status levels to receive different perks. Each airline is different, but I would recommend, if you can, to fly predominantly with 2 airlines. Choose one as your main one and the second one as your second choice. That way you can build up loyalty with that airline and accumulate points faster. TSA PreCheck and Clear. I highly recommend those. I traveled a while before I signed up for TSA PreCheck, and I wish I had signed up for it sooner. I think it's like $85 for 5 years, but it is so worth it. The lines most of the time are shorter. I love the fact that I don't have to take all my tech stuff out, like my computer and my iPad and my camera and stuff like that. And you can keep your shoes on. Yes, happy camper. Now, TSA PreCheck will get you through fast, but Clear will get you through faster. Like, you even bypass the TSA PreCheck line with Clear. And the other thing is Clear does cost more, so there's a price difference. But either one definitely has its advantages, and you can choose which is best for you. Now that you are equipped before the flight, let's talk about what you're gonna do when you're in flight. One thing I like is to get as comfortable as possible and have what I need at, a finger's reach. And I found that using something like this, which is basically like a cosmetic bag, I use this to put a few of my tech essentials, which I actually hang from the back of the seat in front of me. I know this isn't the most aesthetically pleasing setup, but I do plan to make it look better in time. I was in a pinch and it got the job done. But you hook this on the back of the chair, and that way your items that you need the most are in here. So you don't always have to reach down into your bag or your purse. You don't always have to bring it up. This is always within reach. Now you don't have to get this particular size, but I will say this one holds quite a bit. But one thing in here that I would definitely say that you're gonna need, not just for your flight, but anytime you're traveling, is a portable charger. Like, this is a really old one I got, if you can't tell. This one here is just like, I think 5,000 milliamps, but they have different sizes. If you want something that's gonna allow you to charge a bit more, I recommend 10,000 milliamps. That one generally, depending on your phone, will let you get a good 2 to 3 charges. But the ones that I typically bring would be a small one like this. I like something thin and compact. And then for certain trips, I'll take a really large one, like a 20,000 milliamp one. I take that one more so in scenarios where I'm gonna be out for longer periods of time. Like if I'm going to an event, then I'm probably gonna take a 20,000 milliamp sometimes. Now this is like your quick grab to things that you need. It doesn't have to be tech and things like that. It can be a mixture of other items in here that you might want, sanitizer, makeup, lotion, whatever. But I do feel that it's really advantageous to have a separate container, so to speak, for your tech. So I have a couple of options that I use. This is the one that I use the most. I got this off Amazon. It didn't cost too much, but it lets me put everything in here that I need. I liked the layout. So I have my wall charger here, which is another little, I guess, gem. This one lets you charge multiple things at once. So if you don't have something like this, I highly advise you look into it. Then the other thing I have in here are cables. So I bring different ones because I have different devices. But this one was just large enough and small enough for me, because I do have another one that I used to carry more than this one in the past, but this one's kind of taking its place. And that is this one here by Side by Side, I think is the brand that made this one. It was the length for me. I found that they weren't too much difference in thickness, but I definitely wanted to shave off some of the length that this one was giving. Inside here, you got better organization, I would say. And then in here is where you can drop something else, like maybe an external hard drive. And you actually got one more section. Hold up, let me get it together. That's fairly organized as well that you could utilize. But you have your options, but those are two that I use and recommend. So something else to make you a little bit more comfortable is to use some headphones, and noise cancellation headphones in particular. That will basically block out as much of your environment as it possibly can. And they offer it in a bunch of different ways. Like I have some in-ear buds. These are by Sony. These are the ones that I mainly honestly use when I'm walking throughout the airport because this lets sound in. But the ones that I like to use would be from Bose. I use their in-ear QC2 headphones. I really like those. Like they actually perform better than my on-ear headphones. The fit was good, the sound was great, like it really silenced everything. If you want the best noise cancellation to me and you like in-ear headphones for extended periods of use, I highly, highly, highly recommend those. But if you're more of a on-ear person, Bose makes some really good ones there as well. Sony does too. But all in all, just make sure that it has noise cancellation. Look for those two words. One is sanitization. Now this next section is one very dear to me, and if you know, you know. Fellow germaphobes, this is a safe space. We're gonna talk about how to sanitize your flight. Some things that you're gonna wanna take with you, or could take with you, are hand wipes. So I have these actually on a monthly subscription. When they went out of stock, man, it was tragic. But you got Purell wipes, and then something else that I carry. Don't mind the little baggie here, but I think though these say you gotta use gloves with these. It might be more than you need. You can always get these in wipe form as well and just use Purell wipes. But I do keep them in here just simply because it's easier to grab, and I found that it's easier when I need something specific to go to a certain bag that I know it's gonna be in versus a pocket. You can also bring Lysol, of course. I thought it was pretty cool that they actually offer these in like small, spray cans. And something else you can bring if you want. Toilet seat covers. So they sell these on Amazon. I found these fit the best. Yeah, you can always get these as well. Huh?
I need those.
Yeah, so it's not just me. Sometimes I feel judged. Usually I don't talk about my little things that I do. It's an unfamiliar space right now. I did put the disclaimer on the germaphobe. I just think as I define certain things, it shows the level of it. And depending on, you know, how you feel about certain things, I'll say for me, the other things that I bring or, you know, recommend would be shower shoes. I actually got like a 3-pack off of Amazon for like $12. You can also bring your own towel, and I have found, y'all, on Amazon, a portable towel. The nice thing about this is not just good for when you're traveling in flight, if you're camping, if you're going to the beach, carry a towel that's gonna dry you, but keep it, you get the picture. I didn't stuff it right, y'all, but anyway. I went for the lime green option, but it's pretty big. I think I got the extra large, whatever the largest size was. But this is the towel, and you know, if you need to hang it, you can hang it, but it dries really well. Quick drying, absorbing, what is it? Quick, what is the word? Quick absorbent towel? Yeah, quick drying. Oh, you do? You have this one? What do you say, Joe? Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Quick drying towel. Absolutely recommend this one. And another thing, you know, that I bring is a pillowcase and washcloths. I bring my own washcloths, so yeah. All right, now let's talk about how are you going to commemorate this trip? How are you going to capture your content? You can reuse the little cosmetic bag we had at the beginning, especially when you're on the plane and you might want to keep your camera gear near you that you're going to be using to film. Hook it in the back, gear in here. Now, one thing I brought in the past is the GoPro Hero 11 here. It's an action camera, but I honestly use it mostly to vlog. I've also used the Insta360 X3. This is really, really good, especially when you want to capture everything around you. And another thing that I like is this phone mount right here. This one is a little bit different. So this one has a hot shoe mount at the top. That'll let you adapt something else onto it, like a light or a mic. The other thing that this has is I forgot what this is called, quarter thread. So you have that 1/4 thread down here so that you can actually twist this on to a tripod, which I don't have right now to demo. And the other nice thing is that if you turn this here in the back, you can rotate it so that you get landscape video or vertical video, because then your phone will go right here. And then when you want to switch it up, you can take your phone and rotate it like this, so then it's filming like that. And then another one that I bring is this little portable tripod. This is nice because it's so compact. It also has an area for the remote that you can use. So it has a Bluetooth remote that would be in here, which is designed so that you don't lose it, but somehow I still managed to lose it. But you just pull this out like that, and I actually featured this recently. But the one thing I didn't show is that it rotates. Just like the little mount that I showed you, this one rotates as well. And then you got your feet down here. And then the last, you know, little accessory I would say to definitely bring is a suction mount. You'll be amazed at the places that you can use this. Like, I found that I ended up putting this not only on like the window on a plane, but like the window when I was like looking at different airplanes go by. If you're going by a store or you're in a restaurant or something like that, you can put this on the window in there. And what I have up here is an adapter for the GoPro so that I can mount the GoPro up here. But if I twist this off here, I then have a mount for the little phone mount that I showed you. Boom. Anyway, we're not gonna twist it all the way on, but you get the vision. It honestly all surprisingly fits, boom, in here. And I will have all this linked below. So if you want this exact setup, you can get it. All right, now tips and tricks. So you know how most of the time you're only limited to like 2 bags when you get on the plane. A way to kind of get around that is to get a bag while you're in the airport. Example, so if I have my, like for instance, my book bag and my carry-on suitcase. If I want to get one more bag, sometimes they will not even let you bring like a purse. That's counted as a 3rd bag. You have to consolidate. But something they don't really seem to be like as nitpicky about are like bags from within the airport, like Hudson News. That is a common convenience store in most airports, if not all. You can always get you a bag from there if you need a little bit more space to carry things. Passport holders, y'all. They look so good, right? They are great for keeping your passport protected, but they can also be annoying because just like a credit card, we'll have to take your passport out of here when it needs to be scanned. Like, I had more scenarios where I needed to take it out of the case than keep it in there. But I will say, at least in my case, even though it's like that, I still enjoy having like some protection on it in the meantime of it actually being used. Another trick, tip, whatever, collapsible duffels, y'all. These right here, you go shopping and you're trying to figure out how to get everything back. Get you a collapsible duffel. That way it doesn't take up space, so if you don't need to take anything back, you're fine. But I have different sizes. The one that I have here is one by Air. I use this one a lot. I mean, you can practically roll this up like a t-shirt or something. It can even attach to your suitcase, so you know, you can slide it on. This is super convenient, especially in scenarios too where you're traveling and you don't know if you might want a backpack. You can take this one. But if you want something not like a backpack, but still just as collapsible, I would recommend this one here. So this one's more like a body sling. But yeah, ultimately, this is something else that I like to take when I might want to take a bag with me when I'm out and about while I'm traveling. But if you think you might go shopping, you might want to look into this one here by Rains. It is their duffel. I really like the material here. It doesn't have any pockets on the inside, which is okay. It's super deep, like it holds quite a bit. And now I take that with me. You can always carry a duffel, but I am more of a suitcase person. I like to be able to wheel that thing behind me. Like, I don't want to carry it on my shoulder. The only time I will really do a duffel is if maybe I'm staying somewhere for one night. For me, the main time I might carry a duffel is if I'm like driving somewhere and I'm staying overnight. But most of the time, I have a carry-on suitcase. But I'm curious, like, what are y'all, team duffel or team rolling suitcase? I'm over here with the rolling suitcase. But if you're gonna use a rolling suitcase, make sure it has 360 wheels or spinning wheels, I think is what it's called. Basically the wheels that will rotate and not just go back and forth. They also have suitcases that have pockets for your electronics, because in those scenarios where you do have to show, you know, your laptop or other tech gadgets like that, it's annoying to have to dig through the suitcase to find it sometimes, or your backpack. So if you can just put it in this one little section and know it's all there, it definitely helps. Plus, to me, another advantage of rolling suitcases is that you can have accessories, you know? Like, you can get attachable cup holders. And I wanna say you can even get like attachable food trays. But something that I put on mine is a custom like cushion for my handle. This makes it so much easier when I'm trying to identify it amongst a host of other suitcases. If you're gonna do this approach, I highly recommend getting like a bright, kind of uncommon color, like a lime green, an orange, something like that. But before I had the little cushion thing, I did use, I don't even wanna say it, but I have used some special duct tape. Put something on your bag and make it identifiable, basically, so that when it's coming through the luggage claim, it's easy for you to grab. Something else that I do is put an air tag inside of my luggage. I found that really handy, especially in scenarios where your luggage might get lost, or if you want to make sure your luggage is with you when you're on the airplane and things like that. It's just a nice way to monitor where your luggage is at all times and anytime. Another tip I would say is to make sure that the luggage has a lock. You can either make sure that it's built into the suitcase, which is my preferred method. That's what I currently have on mine. Or if you want, you can always buy a separate lock and attach it. But I will say, if you're curious about some reputable brands or some brands that I recommend, I do suggest Away. I've used their luggage before and I liked it. And I recently have gotten into Monos. Now, the thing about Monos is that, and maybe I'm a one-off, but I had a terrible shipping experience with them. Like, basically they took so long to ship it that I was no longer at the address in which it was supposed to ship to. I think they quoted like a week or two or something like that. I updated my shipping. They said it should be good and should be going to my new address, and it didn't. It went to the old address. I went there like maybe 3 or 4 days later and it was gone. So they thankfully did reship everything to my new address, but that took like, oh my God. I ordered around October. I got my luggage in like, it was, and then I had trips, y'all. I had trips that I wanted that luggage for, so I was a little tight. Now that I have it, I do like it. Even though I had the shipping experience, I still do recommend the luggage if you can get your hands on it. I haven't had any issues or anything like that, and they have lots of different options. Something else that I recommend is a luggage rack. Like, this is really nice for me, I will say, when it comes to packing my suitcase or emptying out my suitcase, because instead of, you know, having to put it on the floor or something and bend down and stuff like that, I can keep it elevated. It's easier to unpack and it keeps it off of the floor. And they have different variations of this. I'll link the 2 that I have down below. All right, y'all, but that's gonna do it for this one. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can feel free to hit that thumbs up button to let me know, and the subscribe button if you want some more content. But if you want to stay further updated on what's going on with me or when you can expect another video, you can always feel free to follow me on Instagram at TechMeOut. That's TECHME0UT. Actually, down below, let me know any other tips and tricks that you might have, because we can make this very collaborative. But until the next one, y'all, as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.